What makes one woman stay loyal while another destroys everything you've built? It's not luck. It's not fate. It's the choices she makes every single day. One woman feels temptation and still protects the bond. The other uses temptation as an excuse to betray it. Most men don't see the difference until the damage is done. But you don't have to stay blind. There are 7 clear signs that separate the woman who stays from the woman who strays. Once you learn them, you'll finally see who's truly by your side, and who's quietly preparing to walk away. Let's start with the very first sign of her true nature. And trust me, it's not the one most men expect. Sign 1. Emotional responsibility. This is always where the cracks first appear. A disloyal woman rarely takes responsibility for her part in the relationship. Every fight, every cold silence, every disappointment, it all somehow becomes your fault. She'll blame your lack of attention, the routine, or boredom. And here's the painful truth, many men accept it. They carry the weight of blame, thinking if they just try harder or give more, things will improve. But that's the trap. A loyal woman feels the same struggles, but she chooses differently. She has self-control. She respects the bond enough to face discomfort instead of running from it. She'll say, "This bothers me," instead of letting resentment rot in silence. The difference is massive. The disloyal woman shifts blame. The loyal woman takes ownership. One destroys trust, the other builds respect. Imagine carrying the entire relationship on your shoulders while she avoids all responsibility. That invisible weight crushes your confidence. Over time, you stop trusting your own judgment because every argument ends with you apologizing for things you never did. If you want to know who she really is, don't listen to her excuses. Watch how she acts when she's called out. Does she deflect, or does she reflect? That answer tells you everything. Sign 2. How she handles closeness when things get hard. A woman who plans to stray doesn't leave overnight. She withdraws little by little. She becomes cold in conversations, avoids your eyes, disappears for hours with vague excuses. She laughs with others but sits in silence with you. You feel her body next to yours, but her mind is already gone. That is not harmless space, it's emotional abandonment. And here's the sad truth. Men feel it but ignore it. They tell themselves she's stressed, busy, tired. But deep down, they know the warmth is gone. A loyal woman doesn't vanish when tension rises. She faces the storm. She says, "Something feels wrong, let's talk." She doesn't use silence as poison. Her loyalty isn't about perfection, it's about courage. Courage to sit down, to look you in the eye, to face what's broken instead of running. So ask yourself, when she's unhappy, does she lean in or pull away? That difference decides whether you're building trust, or standing in line for heartbreak. Sign 3. The way she tests you. Every woman tests a man sometimes, it's human nature. But the difference is intent. A disloyal woman tests to manipulate. She stirs chaos. She might compare you to her ex, compliment another man in front of you, or push your weak spots just to see if you'll crack. And no matter how you react, you lose. Because her goal was never connection. It was control. A loyal woman tests too, but her tests come from vulnerability. She might ask, "Do you still find me attractive?" Or, "I miss how we used to spend time." She's not trying to humiliate you. She's looking for reassurance. See the difference? One tests to draw you closer. The other tests to tear you down. If you tolerate manipulative tests, they won't just create fights, they'll erode your identity. You'll get used to disrespect until one day you don't even recognize yourself. A woman who respects you will challenge you in ways that help you rise. A woman who plans to betray will provoke until you break. Ask yourself, are her tests coming from insecurity or manipulation? That answer will reveal her true intentions. Sign 4. How she talks about her past. A disloyal woman keeps her past vague and foggy. Ask her about her ex and she shrugs. It was complicated. Press for more, and she dodges. It doesn't matter anymore. But it does matter, because patterns repeat. If she never faced her mistakes, she'll drag them into her future. And that future might include you. A loyal woman doesn't need to hide her scars. She'll tell you where she went wrong, what she learned, and how she grew from it. Her honesty might sting, but it's real. And it shows you she's matured. Now imagine finding out too late that her friend was really an old flame, or realizing every breakup ended with the same vague excuse. That's not coincidence, it's a cycle. So don't just ask, "What happened before me?" Ask, "What did she learn from it?" Because a woman who hasn't grown from her past will only repeat it. Sign 5. How she treats flirting. For a disloyal woman, flirting isn't harmless fun, it's her social currency. She thrives on attention. At work, online, in public, flirting keeps her ego alive. And here's the brutal truth, she doesn't stop when she's in a relationship. Sometimes she even flirts more, showing off that she's wanted, even while taken. A loyal woman understands flirting has weight. She knows every glance, every playful joke, every innocent laugh at the wrong time sends signals. She respects the trust you've built and doesn't put herself in situations where loyalty can be questioned. Now picture this, you're standing beside her while she giggles with another man, leaning in too close. When you bring it up, she laughs. "Relax, I'm just being friendly." That's not friendliness, it's disrespect disguised as charm. If you ignore it, it becomes the new normal. Remember, loyalty isn't just physical. It's emotional, and a loyal woman won't let you question where her heart belongs. Sign 6. How she talks about freedom. A disloyal woman hides behind the word freedom. She'll say things like, "I don't owe anyone an explanation," or "I can do whatever I want." It sounds strong, but in reality it's a loophole. It's how she justifies shady behavior, vanishing for hours, chatting with men online, posting provocative photos, then blaming you for being jealous or controlling if you question it. A loyal woman values freedom too, but she balances it with responsibility. She knows being in a relationship doesn't mean being trapped, it means being committed. Her independence is steady, not reckless. So listen closely when she talks about freedom. Is it maturity, or manipulation? One strengthens the bond. The other destroys it. Sign 7. How she handles conflict and validation. This is where her true self comes out. A disloyal woman can't stand emotional pressure. She shuts down during conflict, disappears emotionally or physically. That silence isn't peace, it's punishment. And when it comes to validation, she craves it endlessly. Every like, every DM, every compliment keeps her ego alive. If you don't give her constant praise, she'll start seeking it elsewhere. A loyal woman doesn't vanish when things get difficult. She may argue, she may cry, but she stays present. She fights for the relationship instead of abandoning it. And while she enjoys compliments, she doesn't depend on them for her worth. Conflict and validation, those two reveal more about her loyalty than any promise ever could. Recognizing the signs is powerful, but useless if you ignore them. Too many men see the red flags, feel the distance, and stay silent. They convince themselves things will change. But silence doesn't save you, it weakens you. Here's your strategy. 1. Set boundaries early. If she blames, manipulates, or disrespects, call it out. Boundaries aren't control, they're self-respect. 2. Focus on patterns, not promises. Anyone can promise loyalty, but behavior never lies. 3. Stop carrying the relationship alone. If you're the only one fighting for stability, you're not in love, you're in captivity. 4. Accept this truth. You can't control her loyalty. You can only control how fast you see the signs and how firmly you protect your dignity. A woman chooses loyalty, but a man chooses self-respect. The differences between a woman who stays and a woman who strays are written in plain sight. In how she handles responsibility, distance, tests her past, flirting, freedom, conflict, and validation. The danger isn't that these signs don't exist, it's that most men refuse to see them until it's too late. They call it stress or a phase or just part of love. But love without awareness is blind. And blind love doesn't protect you, it traps you. So I'll ask you directly, will you ignore what you've just learned, or will you use it as armor? Because the man who protects his emotional space never has to beg for loyalty again. If this opened your eyes, share it with another man who needs to hear it. Drop a comment, "Now I see clearly." And remember this, you can't force loyalty. But you can always choose self-respect. And that choice, that calm, unshakable awareness, is the real freedom of a man.